Hey everybody, and welcome back to another one of Mudflap's movie reviews. My name is Mudflap, and today I will be reviewing Season 6 Part 2 of the show Riverdale. Let's get started. This episode was directed by James DeWile, and it stars KJ Apa, Lily Reinhart, Cole Sprouse, Camila Mendez, Madeline Pesch, and Casey Cott. So we start this episode off where, if you remember in Season 5, it ends on a cliffhanger with an explosion happening while Archie and Betty are in their room together, and that's where the scene ends. So far in Season 6, we've been looking at the parallel universe Riverdale, which I was a little confused by at first, but it made sense as I was watching the episodes. Now we're back in Riverdale. Everything in Riverdale is gone. It's all set back to normal. Jughead figured out what he had to do. He figured out how to separate the two so there wouldn't be any catastrophic clashes of universes, which would result in tons of people dying in both worlds. So that's how the last episode of Season 6 ended, and there's a 3-month wait. Now in the first episode of Part 2 just dropped last night on the CW channel. I watched it on the app, and I gotta say it's definitely an interesting start. We get to see the explosion again where Betty and Archie are in their room. The place explodes. They miraculously get out somehow. Jughead was in the garage and he was fine. The episode is called Unbelievable. It was all based on the after effects of what happened during the explosion. Somehow Archie got superhuman strength. Betty got to see people's auras, specifically negative auras, so it would always be a red outline showing that they were bad people. And then sadly Jughead, his hearing was really affected by the explosion. Then we go over to Veronica and Reggie. Reggie's dealing with his father being in the hospital. Definitely has some regrets when it comes to the father-son relationship that he and his dad have, and he definitely just wants to make sure that he spends enough time with his dad as he can, because who knows how long his dad has in the hospital. Veronica's dealing with her father, Hiram Lodge, who was responsible for the explosion, and she took drastic measures to make sure that he would never have a negative effect on Riverdale ever again. And then of course we have the Blossom household, where things are always weird. They're dealing with the spirit of one of the relatives who apparently is possessing one of the students that Cheryl is teaching all about Blossom tradition and magic and all that. So they had to deal with that, and Nana Rose is starting to become pretty shady with what she's doing. She's always been a suspicious character. She's always had a mysterious past, and she always seems to know more than she lets on. I've heard that we should stay far away from Nana Rose. It was pretty cool seeing the crossover episode a couple episodes ago with Sabrina. I've never seen that show, Sabrina, but I just heard rumors that she would show up and help out Cheryl in a way, and she did, so that was a cool little crossover. There are theories out there that the only way that she could come on this show is if Riverdale happened. Parallel universe, you got a witch coming in. You know, I think that was the only way that they could really bring that crossover happen. And for all those out there who are fans of Sabrina, I hope you liked that episode. I think that episode specifically was just tailored towards the fans because they wanted to give them a little more something. But yeah, Riverdale Season 6 is pretty interesting so far. It's definitely the darkest season out of all seasons of Riverdale. As the show progresses, I've noticed it's getting weirder, it's getting darker this time. The first 5 episodes of Part 1 were like straight up horror stuff, and I kind of liked that. It was kind of a break from Riverdale and all the weird small town stuff that happens. Riverdale definitely focused on more supernatural stuff, more horror stuff, just weird parallel stuff that affected people in different ways. It was a little jarring at first just seeing all this happening. I was trying to keep it all straight because I admit there were times where I was a little confused, like how does this tie into this universe? But then it was all explained by Jughead, who just definitely kept us on a, he was kind of like the anchor, the narrator throughout the entire first part of Season 6, just keeping us up to date. But it definitely got crazy, I will say that, when it came to how we thought about these characters and what potential things could happen. They showed it in the comics that it happened. This is based off the Archie comics. It's very loosely based off the Archie comics, because I'm sure most of this stuff didn't happen back in the 60s where they're doing all this weird alien parallel universe stuff. Maybe they did. I just know that it's loosely based off the Archie comics. Yeah, I'm excited to see what the rest of Season 6 holds. I personally think that they should wrap up Riverdale after the 6th season. I don't think there's any reason to bring it back for a 7th season. It seems kind of getting repetitive. It feels like they're rehashing some stuff that we already know, and it just gets weirder and weirder, and I feel like they're losing plot development and character development and storylines, and just trying to make it as weird and scary as possible. But that's just me. You know, the director, James DeWile, did a great job giving us a good start to part 2, so I'm excited to see what the future of Riverdale Season 6 holds. Each episode is around 40 minutes or so that's a good length. I'm going to give this episode a 7 out of 10 Mudflaps. It was good, not great. I'm excited to see how the show continues to progress, and hopefully they don't jump the shark with anything weird. I feel like at points they may have, but I think that's just they're trying to experiment with stuff. They're taking the story in a little different direction. It's all director's choice, you know. And before you leave, drop in the comments below what's your favorite season of Riverdale. And as always, if you like my video, give me a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and I'll see you next time.